So the My Hero Academia Season 7 trailer was released about a month or two ago. And when I saw that trailer, I was at first hype. But then I went on Twitter and TikTok and saw that a lot of people were dragging the trailer. And I was like, why? And would you know it, of course, it's about the blue sky once again. And in response to that backlash, I made like 1 or 2 videos about the subject. And the minority of people seems to get the point. However, the majority of people in that comment section were acting so dense it was kind of annoying. So I'm gonna make this video to hit the nail in the coffin. You guys are saying that the MHA anime lacks the tone that is in the manga. And I'm sorry to say this, but what tone are you guys seeing? You guys are all saying that the manga was gritty, it's dark, it's a dystopia. And I genuinely think that this comes from just a misconception. While yes, the MHA universe is in shambles, it was nowhere stated to be in an apocalyptic state. And before you all come and crucify me in the comments, let me explain. Yes, the MHA manga does have dark elements in this story, but having dark elements does not make you inherently have a dark story. There is no dark tone that needs to be set for the anime. Like, I remember when the anime adaptation for chapter 306 came out, all of you were collectively losing your minds once again over the blue sky, saying that it doesn't match the tone, it's messing up the panel, blah, blah, blah. And I thought about it, what tone are we expecting? It's the beginning of April. There's not a dark tone to be set. There's cherry blossoms falling from the trees. You guys are saying, oh my god, it's so dark, when in reality it was one of the most peaceful panels you could have ever seen. It's literally giving the Eren Freedom panel. Both of these panels can have dark undertones. It's literally just the context behind the scenes. Like you guys were saying, why isn't there any smoke in the sky? The city's not on fire. In fact, there's nowhere in the Vigilante arc where there was any fire. There were 0 buildings on fire. The only reason Japan was in the state that it was in was because of the lack of heroes, the overabundance of civilians taking matters into their own hands, and the villain outbreak. Hell, it was even stated that the judicial system and all the laws are still in place. Midoriya was able to walk villains into a prison cell. People were in fear. People were looting. That happens today. You guys are literally just overestimating how bad Japan was. It's seen better days, but it is absolutely not in an apocalypse. And again, when you guys are comparing some of these panels to the manga, you can't even use the right panels. And then, going back to tone. In the trailer, we saw Uraraka and Midoriya talking over a cliffside. And you all started crashing out about a tone. There's nothing ominous about them talking over that cliffside. And then once again, you guys are bringing up the All For One panel, which you didn't even use the right panel for. Did you guys forget how that even started? It was Midoriya and Aoyama having an inconspicuous conversation. There was nothing really ominous about their conversation. The sky isn't supposed to magically darken just because All For One and Shigaraki show up. Now, can Bones botch some of the panels? Yes, but that is not a Bones exclusive thing. Even you guys' top pick for anime of the year, Jujutsu Kaisen, had a fumbled panel, but people overlooked that. It's literally because My Hero Academia as this whole series is just heavily scrutinized compared to the average anime. And personally, I don't know where all this season 6 slander came from. I thought we all came to the collective agreement that season 6 was one of the best seasons of MHA. I don't know where the switch up came from. And can you guys stop comparing these animes to MHA? I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know why. If you compare My Hero Academia's manga art to some other mangaka like Gege, Horikoshi is significantly the better artist. Why do I bring that up? Because when your manga has less details, the adaptation studio has way more breathability and flexibility when it comes to adaptation. For example, they can do whatever they want in the background because the background was never drawn in. they can take their own liberations. But in almost of a majority of MHA's art, there's always a background, so you don't really have the flexibility to do what you want. And on top of that, we saw the Stars and Stripes fight, or at least the start of it, in the trailer. And people crashed out on Shigaraki, saying that he doesn't look as detailed as he does in the manga. Literally because basically, he doesn't have the same amount of wrinkles as he does in the manga. In order to get those heavy details across, you're going to have to use CGI. And who in their right minds wants CGI in an anime? CGI and anime don't necessarily go hand in hand. They're almost always horrible. Except Bones did it good that one time. The intensity that you guys are looking for in this adaptation simply just won't be there. Does that mean that Bones is exempt from all criticisms? Hell no. In a prime example, I don't really like Deku versus Shigaraki. I felt like it was meh at best. It could have been way better. My problem with the fight wasn't that it had bad animation, it was the lack of animation. It would literally be an intense animated scene into a still. There was no wind up, no build up, no pressure to anything. And that's where my problem was. Where you have something like this end up like this, mashed together with a cap cut shake. Now, when I say I initially didn't like the episode, that's an understatement. I actively hated that episode. I remember I was on the phone with my friend and I'm like, my boy, what have they done to you? They've massacred you. And then my friend who's an anime only, I showed him the panels. He was like, bro, what's the difference? And I was like, you don't see it? And he was like, what did you expect? They look exactly the same. So then I went back and I rewatched the episode and I'm like, oh, it really wasn't that bad. My gripes with the arc came when I went on TikTok before I watched the episode. And would you guess, people was hating on the episode at first. Now, this is not me saying that it's a top 10 fight in My Hero Academia. Because again, it could have been better still. But even to call that a fight in general is just an overstatement. Like, if you look at Shigaraki's stats during the fight, bro threw like 0 punches and 0 kicks. He was just getting wailed on. But let me say this right now. Whether it's this season or next season's, Bone, if you fumble their next encounter, there will be an issue. Bones, you are starting off with Stars and Stripes. Start off strong. You shouldn't have that long of a season. And if you do have a long season, it works in your favor. Because now they can add stuff. They have flexibility. So whether they go with 15 episodes or they go with a full 24 episodes with extra added content, they have a bag waiting on them. This arc is straight gas. No breaks. For every season, I was able to give you a benefit of the doubt. I was able to give you a reasoning for why you couldn't do something, but you have no excuse this season. I need Vigilante arc animation throughout the entire season. Let's keep it consistent. And if they keep it consistent, y'all that was bugging, don't switch up. Those of you like, oh, I'm gonna stick to the manga, stick to the manga. Because if I saw you trashing the trailer, best believe I will be in your comments, calling you a fraud and a switch up. And if I switch up on season 7, go ahead and call me a fraud. Call me a liar. Call me stupid. Call me whatever you have to call me. But I know if ain't nobody got me, I know Bones got me. Anyway, TLDR. The MHA manga as a whole is not as dark as you all remember it to be. Like, don't forget the Vigilante arc incidents where a majority of you were mischaracterizing Vigilante Deku, saying that he was Batman. No, blood wasn't. And 2, yes, Bones can sell some panels with censorship and mismatched panels, but I guarantee you they're not the only studio to do it, and they won't be the last, and that won't be their last time doing it. Anyway, this is my first video of this length, so if you didn't watch it, I understand. This was heavy. But I'm finna make more videos like this because YouTube be bugging on MHA. Literally.